So my name is Dominic. I've been a member / employee different times. I've been a member here for May of 21, so just over 2 years. I've been coaching here since like January of 22, I think, is when I started coaching. So I've had my CrossFit cert for a long time, and I just never did anything with it. I acquired it through my old gym, and when I started there, just to help facilitate my membership and everything, I was like, hey, can I work here? So pretty much what I worked out was a deal with them where I would dedicate like 40 hours a month. They paid for my membership and my wife's memberships. And because I was an employee there, they hosted cert classes, and they got 2 open spots every time they hosted one. So they were like, one day they were like, hey, do you want to take it? And I was like, yes, absolutely, please. But then I did it and sat on it for a number of years before I ever decided to use it. So I'm really happy that I have. I really enjoy coaching, and it's given me a little bit different perspective, because I came into this type of exercise with 0 exercise experience, like absolute 0. I was writing excuses in gym class in school to get out of everything. So different trajectory for my life. Before, I was a very heavy drug user. I was addicted to painkillers from the age of about 15 until my mid to late 20s. It's constant struggle. So I have a very addictive personality. So that's something that I figured as I get older, I figured out finally how to manage, and I have to just switch those addictions that are detrimental to my health, like drugs, alcohol, all that stuff, and switch them to things like exercise and eating healthy, just because that gives me my fix. I'm still getting some sort of, I'm addicted to this, like exercise. It's the top of the list for me now. So it was just shifting all of those things from bad habits to good habits. But yeah, I was a drug addict for a long time. My health was really, really bad. I was about 250 pounds when I started doing this. And I'm like 185 now, a normal, like relatively healthy weight for my height and everything. But yeah, so before that, I had a very, very unhealthy lifestyle. My wife started doing this like 6 months before me, and every day she would come home from a class and be like, hey, you should go check this place out. And I was like, nah, screw that, I'm not interested. And it literally took her 6 months, and then she's like, hey, they're doing a Christmas party, why don't you come just meet some of the people? So I agreed to do that. Met some of the people. I was like, all right, there's some cool people here, I'll try a class. So I think I went back like the next week, as I was a New Year's resolution, or it was like right after the new year, So there was a big influx of new people. It didn't feel as overwhelming for me. I tried a class and I was like dying on the floor. And pretty much I think where everything flipped for me was I saw a guy do essentially a box jump, but the front counter of the gym, like the reception counter, and then I measured it and it was 49 inches. And I was like, once I saw him do that, I was like, I want to be able to do that. Like, that's a goal now. So for me, I saw it as a challenge that I had to accept. And from there, I just kept going. It was really just a long road of trying to get healthy first. My first goal was to be healthy. So it started with my old gym also had nutrition coaching, things like that, and we would meet sometimes as like a class at the end of class, and just as we're doing our cool down, like the coach would throw something out, hey, here's a little tip for you, and try this. So I got introduced to some different just types of eating and just things that I didn't know were possibilities. For me, I was like very pre-prepared, frozen, processed stuff all the time. So just realizing that I could cook and put my own things together, which for some reason it sounds stupid, but it never really occurred to me. Like, I grew up, my family cooks and all that. I never really thought to do it for myself as a young adult. I was very lazy in that regard. So just, shifting these habits, trying to eat a little bit healthier, and then exercising on a more consistent basis. I started, I think it was like 2 days a week, then bumped it up to 3, and then eventually it was like 6 because I just couldn't get enough. And weight started coming off, and just building those good habits. And I finally got to a place where I was at a healthier weight, and then I was starting to build muscle and get strength all at the same time. And from there, it just turned into finding Olympic lifting through this, and really finding a passion for that. And most of my goals were oriented at like, I want to hit this PR, things like that, which is, pretty typical in what we do. So I think with my past drug habits that I ruined a lot of my endocrine system, and I don't think that I was able to have kids. And I just started working out and eating healthier, and then like a couple of months after I started working out, she ended up getting pregnant with our son. So it's an incredible blessing. Like, it's so crazy, but I really have this, I think, to thank for that. I think getting my body back on track, I think it made a difference, and I think that's what really was, I think, the reason for that. It was a challenge because it was very unexpected. I was like, 26, 27 years old, and now I find out I'm going to be a dad, and I'm on this new journey trying to get myself healthy. So it was a little bit overwhelming at first. Like, it was a lot. And then thinking about it, how I'm trying to change my life and build these habits, it is a challenge for me to be able to keep this going, because I want to be able to set an example for my kid. So, that's a pretty ongoing challenge. So I think for me it was a challenge too, because I'm super comfortable with it now, just because I've been doing it, but public speaking was like a huge fear of mine. I've never been great at it, which is weird. Like, I was in a band growing up. That's kind of how I fell into drugs and things like that. I played music and played guitar, and I had no problem being in front of people on a stage, as long as I didn't have to say anything into a microphone or to them, like directly address a large group of people. For me, that was like the most stressful situation. So now it's completely shifted, and I feel like I've opened up more as a person just because of this. Coaching has helped me grow, and it means a lot to me because of that. I really enjoy it. I started a job where my schedule just didn't work, and I actually stopped working out for a period of time, started gaining weight, and COVID hit and everything shut down, and I got into drinking, and I started drinking very heavily and started gaining more weight back. So we came down here after being in Erie for a year, and my bad habits would continue for a number of months. So I started looking for another job, and then that's why I found one here, like right on the other side of Penn Avenue. So I drove by this place a few times, and I was like, that looks like a gym. And then I eventually saw people doing stuff outside. I think there's someone on a rower, and I was like, wait, that's a Concept 2 rower. I was like, that looks like a CrossFit gym. So I immediately just went online, started doing some research, and I think I put in for a request for information, and like I think it was like 2 minutes later, at 8:30 at night, or maybe 9 o'clock at night, Anthony messaged me. He's like, hey, do you have time for a call? And I was like, yeah, all right. So I called him, and he gave me a little bit of a rundown on what we do here. And I was like, all right, I think I'm going to stop in tomorrow on my lunch break just to talk to you some more and whatever. And then I talked to him for a couple of minutes, and I was like, hey, I'm in. Like, I want to sign up. Let's do this. I'm finally in a financial position where I can do it, and I need to get this part of my life back. So just because it was close and it was kind of just circumstance, I drove by a couple times and I was like, that place looks like they're doing familiar things. And it all worked out like pretty wonderfully. I think here, I PR'd my deadlift. When I first started, I had a goal to hit 400, and I tried many times at my old gym in Arizona. I was nowhere even close. And I finally did it here, and someone got a really good picture of it. I'm like right out in the middle of the floor. The logo is up on the wall right behind me, and it's actually, I think, my profile picture for a couple of things. It's like one of my favorite moments, just in general, because I hit a PR that was a goal of mine since the beginning of my exercise journey, and then to have it captured in such a spectacular way it's really cool. Yeah. Just don't be scared. We all start somewhere. If anyone is interested and you see this, stop in. If you see me, stop me. I can show you some pretty interesting videos of me trying to learn how to do things, and I look very goofy. So I'm talking to you directly. Don't be scared. You're gonna look goofy. We all start there. It's okay. That's the best advice I have.